Hello, Shalom Ola, and welcome to Travis Tidwell Psychic Predictions. This is my channel where we're going to be talking about global events as well as local countries, United States. I've been making predictions for many, many years. This is what I do for a living. And I've made other, years. I've been on YouTube for many years making different predictions, but I have been off YouTube for a while. I got this new channel up. You can check my channel out if you're here now looking at this episode. We have the spiritual life, we have celebrity predictions, and now we have Travis Tidwell psychic predictions, where we are talking about global and local events here. And one of the topics tonight that I want to start out with is the planetary cycle that we're in. We're all busy kind of living our lives. It's tough. We work, eat, sleep, and we don't really get to think about what's going on a bigger level, or how this is kind of working in our society, or even in our cosmic galaxy here to some degree. Cycles change every year at the new year, and the planetary cycle is different than the cycle that America is in, or a lot of countries, depending upon their date of birth. In America, we're obviously July 4th is what they say, but really it's in November, because we're a Scorpio country. But anyway, that's a different dialogue. But going back to the planetary cycle, you start at 1, you go through 9, and then you go through a 1 again. And one thing we know about the planetary cycles, it's just like for a human, the planet goes through its own changes, and this planet is alive and living. She's called Mother Earth, Goddess Mother, and it's to her that we get our flesh. We are born in the Adam and Eve programming, which is also on my spiritual life programming there. You can check out. So right now, and let me just double check that. Yeah, the planet Earth is in a 5 cycle right now. And being in a 5 cycle tells me that for everybody on planet Earth, this should be a healing time. And it's no coincidence that, we've got COVID last year, which when I have on my channel here predictions I made in 2020 that said in June 2021 we would go back to semi-normal, which we did. Now we've got all these damn variants and shit out there. I mean, it's like anything else. Use your rational brain for just a moment with your intuition. Anything living every day gets stronger. And the stronger it gets, the more it could, mutate or whatever it wants to do. So we all need to take a serious look at this. We just entered the Aquarian age, okay, for the whole planet. And the Aquarian age is the age of communication, but also the element of air. And what do we have beginning? Airborne viruses. So I think as a species, we need to come together and really take a big look at what's going on. It's bigger than just going to work every day and paying your bills, because without a functioning planet, we don't have that. And I've been saying this for the past few years, is that, as habitable as this planet is and was created for us, now we're seeing how uninhabitable it can be, and it's only going to get worse from here, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really will. And I hate to say that, because I'm not a doomsday kind of guy, but the planet is going through changes. Right now, like I said, it's in a healing mode, the 5. And this is also a time where, the global community is coming together with an opinion about what needs to change and who needs to change. And a lot of people call this the woke consciousness, but the whole planet needs to be awake. And the people who are awake want, human rights. They want justice. They want, peace. They want equilibrium. They want balance. Burning some sage here. And also, if you're watching this right now, I just want to welcome all my YouTube viewers, because you can only get this on YouTube, baby. You can't get this on Spotify or iTunes, where I have my podcast, The Spiritual Life, and also my music. And so this is just for you. Of course, you can always go to travistidwell.us and check me out and see what else I have going on. But going back to the planetary cycle, too, I mean, there are some countries that will be feeling shipwrecked on planet Earth. As it is above, it is below. If it's yin, it's yang. It's negative, positive. So overall, though, I feel it is a healing time to some degree. We could be doing way more to save planet Earth and to help Mother regenerate herself. So that's kind of sad. Next year on the planet, it could actually get worse than what it is now, as far as a civilization Next year could be more. There could be more death and more blood on this planet. And Mother Nature is something that we can't stop. Earthquakes, we can't control her. So we start becoming really that kind of a crazy human race. She might make her own adjustments for us. That's where we're at right now on a planetary cycle. Remember, it goes to 9 and it goes back to 1 again. So there's something coming in the 9th cycle for Earth, and that's going to be what 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 years. 4 years, there will be something devastating hitting planet Earth in 4 years. Okay, and we'll see how that is. Now let's talk about the U.S. cycle, the planet, not the planetary, but the cycle that America's in. My God. America's in a 7 life cycle. And in my numerology system, 7 is like the tower card, baby. It's like only in darkness can light shine. This is where people are being thrown out of the building and lightning strikes the tower. And that's what's happening right now in this country, which is also very yin and yang because, I'm not here to discuss politics. I'm a psychic, I'm a philosopher, and a mystic for a living. But intuitively and psychically, we see that this country, as well as this planet, if you want to look and know the future, look at the past, because the past always seems to recycle itself here, because everything is in cycles here, okay? And so as we're in a 7 cycle, only in darkness can light shine. That's really very yin and yang, but that describes what we're going through on a conscious level here in America with the different political parties, with the different human beings here who are acting out their rage and their opinions. They're not giving people the right, or respecting other people's rights to have opinions or wear masks. That has nothing to do with politics. That's just being a decent human being. And we need to go back to that word, human being. We're a species here learning how to live together. We're star seeds, okay? And so as a result, next year, the United States will be in an 8 cycle, and there's going to be some bigger disappointments as far as for this country. And I kind of feel for the Republican Party. I don't want to get political right now. That's another episode, but there are changes being made here in this country. In fact, if you want to look at the future, let's look at the past. Right now, we're reliving the Civil War. And because of that reason, I'm hoping old Joe don't end up like Abe, you know what I'm saying? Because that could actually happen in this life. We're repeating the past right now with the Confederate flag in the South, and it's crazy what's going on right now. I live in Southern California, West Coast, baby. We really ain't got those kind of vibes here. We're so lucky that, I'm sure our racists here living in the neighborhood or whatever, but it ain't like it is where some of these people live around this country, which is very, very shocking for us. The Civil War was real. This Civil War right now is real. So we're in a 7 now, 8 cycle next year, 9 cycle in 2023. That will probably be a big year for America as far as betrayal, and probably a big attempt again at some kind of coup or destruction of our government. It's really sad but true, and it's also at that time going to be shown to us in 2023 who is our enemy and who isn't in this country. And that could be politician, businessman, who knows? But there's whoever's been hiding and doing stuff, dirty, trying to catch me riding dirty. But yeah, they're going to be like caught, and it's going to be all over. And then this country will go into a new beginning in 2024. And I don't want to get too political right now, but I'm also making predictions that America's turning blue, baby. This ain't the Crips and Bloods no more. Come on, man. It ain't red and blue in this country. It's red, white, and blue. It's crazy to go far left or far right or moderate. It's all about taking care of the people here. We've all seen Die Hard, which I'm not sure which one it was, where they do the computer hacking. Which one's that, Dina? She was, I don't know. So, and that's where we're at. If we don't get this infrastructure fixed in this country, and the streets fixed, and the plumbing and the pipes for the lead and the water, we're not going to be the best country in the world. So there's a lot there right now in the U.S. that we have to look at and have to think about. We're in some crazy cycles right now. The next couple cycles are going to be crazier. and we'll have to wait and see how my prediction works on that level. That could also be not only with the economy, but also with other countries. Again, as on another show, we'll talk more about China, but China will betray us, and there's no way out of that. And China and Russia are working together. So that's kind of where we're at there. And let's talk about climate change now. So, people don't realize that we're now moving out of the Goldilocks zone. I don't know how many people out there know that. And so it's like the old story, one porridge was too hot, one porridge was too cold, and one porridge was just right. And that's the distance we've been between the planet Earth and the sun. Okay? We've been in that perfect Goldilocks zone, but we moved out of it now. We're moving out of it. So again, it's just another sign of how uninhabitable this planet's going to be. It's crazy to think that we're on a rock floating through space, man, but that's what we're at, for sure. And this planet, has these extinction cycles, which I don't really feel like we're in right now per se, but it is going to get worse with volcanoes, earthquakes. There's still major shifts coming, and that's no doubt there. And, on a planetary cycle, like I said, when this planet's in 9 cycles, there's going to be some wild stuff going off. So, we all have to be very diligent in our consciousness about taking care of Mother Earth and doing all we can to regenerate anything we can here. It's to the point to where that's why all these private firms are going to be building homes on the moon. People are going to be going there because they know they can't save the Earth and where it's going. A lot of people know that who have knowledge and science. They know that, and that's why they're investing all this money. You don't see they're investing more money in going to space and living on Mars and the moon than they are living on Earth, baby. Come on, this is Mother Earth taking care of us. So, guys, I want you all to remember that. Now, and just like as the planet has a cycle and our country has a cycle, as well as other countries, we also have cycles. And soon I'm going to be doing some work on that. And if you don't know what your personal cycle is, you should leave a comment on my YouTube channel. And I'll get you that information because your cycle is important for everybody to know. It's important that we know we're at on a cosmic level, a planetary level. Just in the country we live in, what we can expect for the consciousness and how it's shifting. Remember, only in darkness can light shine. The other thing is that, we are moving to electric vehicles and solar, and that is where we need to go to help sustain this planet and, not participate in corrupting it any worse than what it is. Here's the deal. I'm a mystic and I teach the mysticism of Kabbalah. They tell us that in the beginning of time, when this planet was created, just like this galaxy, as soon as it was created, the natural force of decay began. There's a natural force of decay on planet Earth as well as other planets. A natural force of decay. These planets were not built to last forever. We think these planets are immortal because they're so big and this galaxy is so big and we're just little specks of sand. But that's not true. So, this isn't what we think it is. That's the other reason why for 21 years now, I've been doing a Keys of Enoch study group at Merkabah, how to prepare to enter the 5th dimension. Because when we live this, this 3rd dimension is going to crash eventually. Now what? Now you can die and resurrect. That'll happen. Or you can make Merkabah. This is real stuff. The 5th dimension is where we're headed. And so this climate change could even be pushing us there even further for all we know. But, the 3rd dimension, even now as we speak, we have to remember that the last big earthquake in Japan with the big tsunami and the radioactive stuff that happened, that was so powerful on that Friday that happened. Scientists said that Friday ended early. It ended before midnight. And we're now losing 3 or 4 seconds per minute per day in time. And time is moving fast. And we're losing time sometimes. We feel that because we're very intuitive beings. And also remember this before I move on to my next topic, that there's some deception here with how we see things and perceive things on this planet. The sun doesn't set or rise. We do. We'll have a good earth setting or earth set or a good earth rise because the sun is stationary. We're the ones. So we even need to correct that in our vocabulary. If we could even start correcting things like that, it would help adjust our brain and help empower our rational mind, because we are on a rock floating through space. So remember, the sun doesn't set, or rise here. We do. Now, and I'm hoping everybody out there is getting this. Again, I just want to remind everybody you need to subscribe. I have the spiritual life. I have celebrity predictions, and now we have, and I've been doing this before anything really, is this Travis Tiller prediction. That's what I do for a living. So if you want to know your future, you can also contact me. They say I'm 99.9% accurate. Now I want to talk a little bit about Joe Biden, and a lot of people, his health. He's old, and he's been in politics a long time. A lot of people complain about him. Obviously, he was the better man from his opponent because he won the election legally. But he's really a Scorpio on the cusp of Sag. And that's why Joe Biden is such a deep person, very sensitive. And of course, we know he's had much tragedy in his life. But let's look at his cycle. Let's look at the president's cycle right now. Well, first of all, Joe Biden's a very young soul, only second time here on Earth. And let me just double check that. Yeah, Angel Gabriel, okay for him. And really, I feel in his case, he's been promised long life. I mean, my God, he's been through so much tragedy. And balance has always been his key phrase. And I feel he does a very good job. And even though he's old and people are saying he's in coma, this guy has overcome a speech impediment. My God. I have an aunt who stuttered growing up. I mean, this is serious stuff. I got to remember that I'm on YouTube. I'm not on a podcast, but I'm YouTubing you. And so I give the guy that credit right there alone. But let's look at his current cycle. And again, cycles start in 1, they go to 9, and then they start over again. So every 9 years as human beings, we clear karma. And if you didn't know that, you know that now. If you don't know now, you know. Let's see his cycle, as I said before. Oh, shoot. He's in an 8 cycle right now, going to go into a 9 cycle on his birthday. And that is the worst cycle you can be in. So I'm so glad I decided to do an episode on cycles tonight. My God. And also, while we're here, I just want to wish everybody a happy fall equinox. We just entered, today's the 23rd when I'm filming this. And I want to also give a shout out to my executive producer at the end. Hey, what's up, girl? If it wasn't for her, none of this would be possible with the Lord God Yahweh and my guy at Hermes and everybody else out there spiritually supporting me, because the universe is working with me, because I'm a ascended master I'm a master from the Galactic Center here, sharing and empowering you. So, going back to Biden, yeah, 8 cycles, so there's a lot of disappointments for him. That's probably with the party and the people who he thought were his friends who he can't really negotiate with now. They're probably going to betray him. Republican Party is going to really try to betray him this next year. I'm predicting that 2022 will have a lot of blue winners instead of red, and I feel that these people who are red, they're the minority now, and they're only in power for so long, and the majority's taking over. And these people in these certain states, I guess, who didn't get health care or don't have these kind of stuff that we do in California, maybe you're going to start getting it, because that's what we need to do. We need to take care of the people here regardless. It's called taxes. And we spend trillions of dollars in other countries and things, and we can't spend that on our homeless. Come on, this is ridiculous. And infrastructure, it's ridiculous. But anyway, that's where Biden's at. He's in an 8 cycle. His 9 cycle next year, man, he has to be very careful. Again, he's got secret enemies, and that's the way I call that tonight for the President Joe Biden. God bless him. Now let's look at Donald Trump, who has not left the picture. My God, this is the only president we've ever still talked about who's out of office. Now, in 2016, in a tarot class that I was teaching, and I got witnesses to this, I predicted he would become president, but only be a one-term president. I still stand by that. I feel like he says, yeah, I'm going to become, it's still open. He's not going to run for president. He's going to be in jail by then. And that's just what I get psychically for him. Psychically, I don't see a good journey for him at this point, because it's called karma. And, greed can take you to different places which you might not realize you're going to end up being. I'll tell you one for a fact, is Saddam Hussein. And when you see that video of him being hung, the look in his eyes like, what the hell just happened? This guy was a dictator, had everything in his hands, and boom. And there's another one, Harvey Weinstein. You'd never thought you'd see him in prison. That That was just the California Hollywood way of doing things, baby. You want this job, you got to get on the couch. I mean, that's the way people always perceived it because that's what they did. So this is a different consciousness now. And this old redneck consciousness, this GOP, this grand old party, this good old boy consciousness is leaving us. It's going to be put out. It's just a matter of time. It's not going to last. It cannot sustain itself. And Donald Trump has obviously divided the parties. But, you know, him and Joe are just a couple years apart. Let's look at him real quick. Well, Donald Trump's a 31-4, which means he was born to be a dictator. He is a control freak. This is his fourth time here. He's a toddler in the adult body. That's why he has these temper tantrums. He's got that whole personality like that. And fours usually inherit money, which he did. So he's kind of living his numerology here tonight. He's very mentally independent. That doesn't mean he's smart or right, but he is independent mentally. I think a lot of people were attracted to that. I used to like, personally, some of the stuff he said, but I never saw him produce anything he said he was going to do. But anyway, like I said, this is not really about the politics side. This is just about him as an individual and where he's at. So, and fours can have big time legal issues. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he's had legal issues most of his life. Now we look at Donald Trump's cycle, and he just had a birthday a couple months back or this summer. Let's see here. Well, he's in a 7 cycle, so he lost the presidency. Let me just double check this here. Hold on. Well, he's in a 7 cycle now, and all these lawsuits he lost, that means he's on the negative side of the 7. He's on the negative side of his numerology. See, even numbers have a positive, negative, okay? And you could be living the positive side of that number or the negative. It's up to you. He's living on the negative side of the 7 right now. It's the Tower card for him because he has been thrown out of office and other places, from what I understand and see in the media. It's going to be worse for him in the next 2 years. He could be in jail or facing some really hard stuff. So we'll see how that works for him. I mean, I wish no harm on anybody, really. This is just what I see cyclically. I'm predicting this. And I feel at some point that he's got some major health issues, Trump does still, that he hasn't acknowledged. Maybe he's in denial. And that will be coming up within the next 24 months for him also to deal with. I don't feel he will run again. Like I said, I don't think he's going to have the opportunity. But even if he did, he will not. He will not. I'm predicting that he will not be president again. I'm also predicting that we're going to have our next president will be Democrat. And that's just what I'm predicting. And you heard it here first on Travis Tidwell's Psychic Predictions. I want to thank everybody at YouTube for tuning in, and for all those who tune in on my other channels that might see this one. When you're going to Celebrity Predictions or you're going to Spiritual Life, you'll stumble upon this, and you'll check me out. I have my album out called Time Has Come on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora and other stations. And then we have the podcast Spiritual Life, which is on Spotify, iTunes, and whatever else they have that carries podcasts for radio stations through my distributor. And, you know, subscribe. I want to thank my daughter Athena for producing this, being my executive producer. I want to thank the Lord God Yahweh, my guide Hermes, and all those out there spiritually backing me up and supporting that dragon, that West Coast magic. And if you have a chance, leave me a comment. Peace, love, many blessings, and God bless Earth. God bless all of you, your family, your friends, your pets. So be it.